Welcome back. Today's the Twins home opener, and there is no doubt the team's manager has his work cut out for him. But Derek Shelton is no stranger to the Twins, and as Julia Daniels finds out, he's up for the challenge.
When we last talked, you emphasized building relationships. How do you feel like that's going?
I think it's going well. I mean, I think it would be a better question for the players to see how they feel about it. But in terms of the communication between myself and our staff towards the players.
Just be an athlete and get where you have to be.
Getting the feedback of things that we feel like we can improve on, I really feel good about how our players have reacted to that.
What do you feel like, I know this is like early, but non-negotiables for you this season right now, if you had to pick?
The attention to detail portion, just making sure that we're focusing on the specific things that we feel are going to make us a good team.
Where do you feel like the most competitive spots are?
In our bullpen, for sure. You know, I mean, with our starting rotation, I think we have a good handle. You know, we lost Pablo, but we have depth there. I think our bullpen, we brought in a lot of guys on non-roster invites, you know, and some have major league experience and significant major league experience that can really kind of bolster our young group. And then we have some really good young arms that in the early going have been impressive. And I think that's where the most competition is.
With all the changes that have happened with this organization during the off season, how do you guys manage expectations without letting it become noise?
I don't think we worry about the noise. We don't focus on the expectations that people set externally. We focus on the fact of the matter of we know what our plan is and how we go ahead. And I think the biggest thing with the change or the changes we've had is there's been constant communication, and there's been a willingness from everyone from Tom on down to be able to have those conversations and get feedback. And I think that's all you can ask for.
A music legend now has a permanent spot outside a landmark Twin Cities venue. First Avenue recently added Bruce Springsteen to its wall of stars. They say it's a tribute to his advocacy here in Minnesota, especially during Operation Metro Surge. Once again, here's Sammy Selena.
A new star has emerged.
I'm from Sweden, and Bruce brings me here.
On First Avenue.
So this was my 102nd concert. So
Bruce Springsteen concert?
Yes.
And fans have been taking selfies all day long.
Yes, who isn't a fan of the boss?
Corey Lidstrom, owner of Indie Painting, had the honor of putting it up.
You know, he's certainly got a prominent position, right?
After First Avenue decided he deserved a place.
Streets of the winter's ice and cold, down Nicollet Avenue.
We had an Ice Out benefit concert here. The song that he put out was amazing, and the impact that had, just kind of showing the world a window into what was going on here in Minneapolis.
I think he said it was like the most significant show he'd ever played.
Stephen Hayden is a music critic who wrote There Was Nothing You Could Do, Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA.
What was striking to me was the anger in the show.
When the suns go off the fight to put their lives in a war.
Stephen was at Springsteen's tour kickoff in Minneapolis, days after the rock star performed his anti-ICE protest song at the flagship No Kings rally in St. Paul.
2 dead left to die on snow-filled streets. Alex Pretty and Renee Good.
He's always talked about real life issues in his songs, but he's not always necessarily being as specific in attacking an administration.
Absolutely. Say it again.
Again, whether you love him or hate him, you aren't indifferent to Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, he signed my arm in New York.
So in more ways than one,
So I run and get the tattoo the day after.
the boss has left his mark.
A Stillwater restaurant that was closed for 2.5 months because of the ICE operations in Minnesota is getting ready to reopen. Heidi Wigdahl has the story in this week's Behind the Business.
Preparations are underway at Chelas El Sazon.
We call papas con rajas.
Chef Christian De Leon didn't always love to cook.
No, actually I hate it. The first 10 years of my life, I meet the right people and coach me why food is so important.
Now, it's become
Really special.
a dream come true.
It was rather unexpected.
One he shares with his wife, Karen De Leon.
During COVID, we were furloughed. Then we got our jobs back eventually, but it just wasn't the same.
So the couple opened a restaurant out of an Egan gas station. Then came 2 more restaurants. before finally last year they welcomed Chelas in Stillwater.
I'm from Guatemala, so I have a Mayan descendants in my blood, and we want to bring something to that here.
But just a few days before their one-year anniversary, they closed their doors because of ICE operations.
It was hard, but at the same time, our people or employees was afraid.
So we had the instance where they were circling the restaurant. They did stop an employee after work on his way home. He was fine. He was, he had his documents and whatnot, but still it caused the fear of the intimidation.
The couple also temporarily closed their Egan restaurant. They estimate the closures cost them at least $250,000. But even then, they felt support.
We feel proud to be in this city. We feel proud to be a Minnesotan.
Now Chelas gets to welcome patrons back.
So the dish we're working today is called cochinita pibil.
The menu is changing a bit.
We'll get it for flavor.
As they reintroduce Mayan cuisine.
I get to come back and, have a full bar ready for me.
The liquor license will also take a couple weeks to renew, but the bar program is known for its mocktails.
Yeah, it feels good to kind of feel free again, in a sense.
A reopening and return to a dream.
We don't want to wake up from the dream. We want to keep dreaming.
In Stillwater, Heidi Wigdahl, KARE 11 News.
Chelas reopens today at 4 p.m. They'll be open for now Tuesday through Saturday. Stick with us. There's more news and weather coming up after the break.